All right, we're tackling the topic of voice search here today. So I thought, why not give Scott Ludwig a call? He's our VP of Professional Services here at Skyward. He works with a whole host of different brands, helping them craft their content marketing strategies overall. But Scott, you've been talking with a lot of folks about voice search. So thanks for being here today to dive into this topic.
Happy to, Kara. Thanks for having me.
So let's start right at the top. Like, this is a really new-ish technology that brands are just starting to sink their teeth into. And you've been having a lot of conversation with different brands about this. So when you're talking with folks in the marketing executives suite, what is the most exciting to them about voice search?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I love your use of the phrase "new-ish" because it is, and that's what voice search is. It clients are excited about the possibilities when it comes to it. It's an innovative way, an intelligent way of reaching people. Think about when social media platforms first were introduced. The brands that jumped on board early got a huge head start against their competition and started building real relationships, authentic relationships with people that were adopting those technologies. For the brands that were the laggards and chose not to prioritize those channels as part of their marketing efforts, well, let's just say they fell behind. We still see a lot of organizations that do not have sound Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn strategies. And never mind trying to stay ahead of the curve and thinking about platforms like TikTok, right? They're still trying to catch up. And as marketers today, we're challenged with being ahead of the curve when it comes to reaching our audiences. And so I think the rise of voice search, voice assistance, especially the adoption of those technologies in our homes, it's just natural for marketers to think about how they can reach people in new ways for their organization. For example, I was speaking to one of my customers, and the question came up about wanting to use voice assistance to support people living with certain medical conditions. In most cases, these conditions impact the daily lives of these folks, and they're looking for any and all assistance to help manage their conditions on the regular. Now, naturally, being there for them in their home when they need assistance, it makes sense, whether it be providing them with some nutritional information to help them with their diets, or connecting to their smart sensors within their medical devices that they wear on a regular basis and provide those readings to them. People want and are expressing the need for help and are looking for companies to meet them with that technology to help them manage their conditions on a regular basis. And there are organizations out there that are looking to find ways to be able to provide that support.
Yes, so from hearing you right now, people are seeing the opportunity because it's what every marketer wants, to be able to reach people where they are with contextually relevant information, to be able to connect with folks at the right time in the right place.
Mhm.
And obviously with phones and speakers, we have them around us more commonly now than we used to. But when folks are coming up with this idea, they see the opportunity. What are the first things that are top of mind for them? What are the questions that they first ask when you're starting to broach voice search as an option?
I think it really comes down to what should I prioritize, and how do I get involved, right? They want to know how the technology works, really. What's interesting though, as I uncover and dig into some of these conversations, it's how everyone perceives voice search. Everyone that I speak to actually talks about it in a different way. Some people are thinking about Siri or Bixby and how they use those on their phone and how cool it would be. As a marketer, you think about that, how cool it would be for someone to be able to tap into that to accomplish a task, right? And could you do that for your organization, for your brand? Get your information in their hands, especially with how many people, everyone has mobile phones. That is one way. Other ways that people talk about it is, them in their kitchen with their significant other, their partners, their spouse, and they start to think about the Alexa experience and the Google Home experience, being able to shout out across the room and get help with a recipe while cooking. A lot of people get energized by that, because you're like, how did that even understand what I was saying? It was 25 words long. I was rambling. And so that is where people get excited, but it also adds to the confusion around voice search as a term. And it seems like because there's confusion, people are a little bit they back off a little bit because they're not able to prioritize what they should focus on. And so the reality is some folks think about it as I need to build a voice application or skill. But reality is when I have dive into conversations, what they're looking for is a way for their content to surface to the top when someone uses some sort of voice search technology, which doesn't always require that level of investment. So when you break down the actual voice landscape, it becomes clearer that people first need to focus on what is attainable in the short term, prioritize that, and understand what's most likely to yield the greatest results for them instead of putting all your chips in one basket, going all in at this moment in time without proven results. I'm big into the crawl, walk, run mentality. And I think for folks that are not used to this technology, they should be crawling first because the landscape, in my opinion, it's in its infant stage. And there's still a lot we don't know about voice platforms and how companies like Amazon and Google are going to monetize them and serve up content differently in the future.
Yeah, I mean, you can certainly see the excitement. I think we've all experienced some sort of interaction with voice, whether it's through a phone or a smart speaker in your house, cooking in the kitchen. I think we can all, a lot of folks can relate to that experience, and the data shows that the average U.S. household has more than two smart
Hmm.
devices in it at any one time.
Yep.
A lot of Americans, the majority, say they prefer to voice search than traditional search, according to some new data. So the opportunity is there, but you talked through a little bit about what is immediately top of mind, which is this landscape is really confusing, although I can see that opportunity. So with any new-ish technology like that, there are a couple of barriers that folks should think about as they're starting to crawl and then walk and then
Yeah.
run. What are some of those barriers that you're seeing that folks should be aware of as they start thinking about voice search?
Yeah. It really it comes down to two things, Kara. First is the technology, right? In some cases, your organization is going to need to think about building applications or skills to be the vehicle for your content, especially when you look at more consumer friendly brands that are taking action using voice search, pizza delivery companies, Starbucks, right? Things that you can have that tangible experience with an immediate output. In other cases, you just have to look at your website and understand, does your current web experience, the back end of your experience, support structured data? If your data and the way you're serving up and organizing information isn't structured, then you're decreasing the chance that your content is going to surface as part of a voice search. And what I mean by that is HTML structured content is much different than structured data. And it's a big challenge because that's what these engines that power voice technology are looking for. It's easily scannable and readable data that help you achieve that position zero. And so the second barrier, I think it's obvious, but not for everyone. It's content. You have to make sure that what you have is hooking someone, that it's appealing to your audience, right? Because you can have the greatest tech infrastructure, you can have the most incredible dev team to make your applications and skills readily available. But if you don't give somebody something that's of value to them, you're going to miss that opportunity for them to come back and re-engage with your organization. What one thing to think about is in voice search, from what I've seen, you're fighting for that top spot. You have to be in position zero, right? You don't have the luxury of being in position 5 or 7, right? Which is still on page 1. And as marketers, we're excited that we're on page 1. In voice technology, you're looking for that one chance. Consumers are not presented with the option to go to option 2, option 3, option 4 easily. So you need to think about the content so that way it's optimized for search, that it's engaging people and making them want to come back if you're going to make this investment.
So, put differently, Scott, this is a call to arms to get back to the basics of good marketing, which is create something that is quality enough that it is worth distributing and invest in what makes great SEO in the first place. From what we're seeing, voice search is rewarding and building upon the things that make content rise to the top of search to begin with. Now, we know it might monetize itself more in the future, but if you're not quite ready to walk or run, safe to say you should just focus on some of those basics. really good structured data and good quality content.
Absolutely. Those are the foundation of crawl here is structured data and quality content.
So whether you're ready to crawl, walk, or run, awareness of this new-ish trend and what brands can do about it is the first step, I think, at any phase. So if you're looking for more information, skyward.com/resources. We've got a lot of information for you there, from ebooks to webinars and conversations like this. We'd love to help you learn more at whatever stage of your journey. Scott, thanks for the information.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Kara.